Well, what's up, dude? 2024, first podcast back, and we're ready to rock and roll. There's a lot of stuff that happened in 2023, but guess what? The 2023 rearview mirror is behind you. It's actually in front of you, but it's the stuff that just already happened. How are we supposed to be moving forward if we're thinking about 2023? We just had our meeting too, and what did I say? It didn't matter what just happened. If you were super successful in 2023, if you just shit the bed in 2023, if you had tons of challenges and you couldn't afford this or couldn't afford that, or you just got smashed in the face like a lot of people did, it's okay because everybody starts brand new with a brand new sheet of paper, and that's where we're at. So I want to talk about, um, how was it, for you this last year, and what we're going to be discussing for this year.
Yeah, I mean, I have a quick reflection, but I'll ask you the question first because I wrote this down. I think too many people carry things with them too long, not realizing that it hurts them. So with that being said, like, what are you going to leave behind last year? It could be like a habit. It could be an activity. It could even be a person. No, I'm just kidding.
You know what? The biggest thing that I'm leaving behind is comparison. Comparison.
You had to get a little vulnerable to say that, huh?
No.
But you don't think
because
so?
everybody that's watching, you guys all fucking compare yourselves to anybody else.
They do, but let's talk
check
about
this
you.
out. This is why I'm saying it as well, because I also see, other people's successes, and it's like, okay. And they're not better.
Yeah.
They just happen to have an opportunity that they, obviously executed on, and good for them. But a little bit, like, you have to have some type of comparison because you're in this business for so long, and it's, especially in the real estate sales, in regular flipping and wholesaling and rentals, and it's like, you think you have a good amount of rentals, you have 2 or 3, somebody has 6. You have 6, somebody has 12. You have 12, somebody has 18.
Someone's always going to have more than you.
Someone always has more than you, so why the fuck are you comparing?
But question...
honestly, for me, that's just one thing that I'm going to leave behind is comparing my road to somebody else's. Because everybody does not go on the same road. There's a 15 freeway, but does everybody use the 15 freeway? Potentially, right? But then there's also the 10, the 210. There's also the 101. People that are in LA aren't using the 15 freeway. They're just not, because that is not their path. So,
question I have though is like, what allowed you to, like, recognize that? Because you mentioned that if you're gonna leave it behind, and then of course you went on to talk about like the audience. But let's talk about you for a second. What are you going to actively do to make sure that you're not comparing yourself to other people?
There are these things called blinders. So we're faced with things that we got to do, right? We got to become more efficient in our wholesale company. We have to truly start increasing profit with our flips. We have to represent more buyers and sellers, okay? We have to really be super efficient with regards to our rental properties. And guess what? Anywhere in there, and by the way, you still have to become a better person for the family, for the team members, for the office, and you have to deliver, and you have to be able to impact. You have to be able to help people expand their knowledge on what they can become. Where in that, what I just said, states, go look at somebody else and see what they did.
It doesn't, but how are you going to make sure you don't do that?
I have a plan in place to where I'm only doing, what did I say earlier? I'm only doing activities that are going to increase blood flow for the specific businesses, which means I have to go and learn and generate more leads. That means people that are watching, someone needs to buy or sell. Somebody has someone that wants to sell a property for cash. Our 60-minute cash offer will come in and make you an offer.
So being hyper-focused on the activity you're doing will allow you to activities will allow you to not compare yourself to others.
That, and get the fuck off social media for a little bit on the consumption end. I can still produce content, which we're doing now, But there's a big difference between producing content and consuming
or
content.
like you can look at it, are you consuming or are you contributing?
Right. Well, delivering. That's
100%.
what we're doing. We're delivering now, right?
Yeah, it's funny you say the getting off of social media because February, like for the whole month, I want to like log off of my Instagram and just not scroll at all because I believe we all mindlessly do that a lot.
100% we do.
But I think that's good to leave behind. Oh, you guys were having a little bit of trouble with our lights. We're going to fix this right now, and we're back.
That was weird.
Yeah. Anyways.
Yeah, maybe a power surge, potentially. Well, no, it's still on. The camera's on. We're still rolling.
We're still rolling?
That's it.
Okay,
Guess
cool.
what? A little speed bump. Not a big deal.
All I was saying is it's good to leave behind comparison because I think, especially at my age,
especially your age, bro.
25,
sure.
There's a lot of people that are my age that are extremely, extremely successful. But then there's a lot of people my age that are nowhere near that success, right? And I think one thing that I've learned to do well is understand that we're all faced with, different opportunities throughout our life. I should not compare the things that we've done to other people. But one thing that I can compare, and I think it's healthy to do that, is the amount of effort you're putting. People don't really they always compare like other people's achievements, but they don't compare the amount of effort that other person puts in to get those achievements. And the light went out again. So we should try to fix that.
We're still solid.
But I like that, leaving comparison behind. What's your theme for 2024? Because increased focus on the activities you're doing has an all-around theme, which is what?
All gas, baby. Along with the standard, like we talked about this in our meeting yesterday, and I think to get super clear on the standard for yourself to increase the amount of efficiency in the activities that we're doing. I just told you earlier I have a little timer. Right? I have a timer that, is giving me an hour to work on 60 MCO, an hour to work on some of my real estate stuff, another hour to work on rentals and the efficiency and which ones are we selling, which this, which that. So there's a lot of things that I'm really focusing on. I guess you could say the standard is, or the theme is going to be the standard to make sure that you're all gas.
I like that. Because mine is steadfast and standard.
So, gas, fast.
Well, right? Steadfast, the definition of it is having like an extreme amount of loyalty to something. And for me, I think if you're able to apply that concept to everything that you do, our clients, our business, our colleagues, our daily activity, like if I'm extremely, extremely loyal to all of my standards and I'm faced with some certain tough times, I always have those to fall back on because that's like a bare minimum of what you're always going to do. Right. So I think that's a good thing to talk. Yeah.
Yeah.
All gas, no brakes. How are you going to make sure that you can always be on the gas though?
It's a good question. I don't know because I don't think that I think that everything that I'm going to be doing is going to be specific and directed. So I guess if you're specific and directed with the activity that is at hand, to be more efficient at it means that that's probably the most effective way to have gas, because you're really focusing. Like, let me ask you this. There is a terminology that, I'm going to give you a task. You're super slammed. But guess what? What do they say? Give something that you want done to the person that's the busiest, right? Because you're in that flow of like, okay, boom, give it to me because you're already in the flow. Let me attack it. Awesome. Move on. Finish this up. Move on. And what else happens when there's a time frame? Like you have 3 hours to get done what you would normally do in a day. How more efficient are you when you have a timeline?
Deadlines, yeah.
That timeline, right? It's that factor of it's not called Murphy's Law. It's called, damn it, on the tip of my head. There's a saying. Dude, it's gonna bug the crap out of me now. When you're only allowed a certain amount of time to get something done, and you do it, and you're way more effective. And we're all faced with that. Like, we have to go on vacation. How well were you that day before you left to Chicago, or to Boston, I should say? Like, all day you were so efficient and effective because you knew you were leaving for 2 days, 3 days, right?
Yeah.
Why aren't we doing that every day? That's the question. So I think, to answer your question about how are you going to have all gas, is maybe have a hypothetical vacation time that you're leaving, so every day you're getting as much done as possible, because you will outpace everyone else if you went on vacation every single day and you had one work day to get through. And like, you keep on pushing it forward, you will outperform everyone. Why? Because you have that extra desire to get something done before you're gone for 2 or 3 days.
This is perfect, because it takes me into my next topic.
It's nuts.
I mean, that 100% relates to a Stoic verse, Memento Mori. And Memento Mori means you will die.
Eventually, yeah.
Marcus Aurelius used to meditate.
True emperor of Rome.
Yeah, and a great philosopher.
Love that movie.
He used to meditate on death 24/7, with the constant reminder that, like, we can literally die tomorrow. And I think that's, another extreme way to look at it. If you're going on vacation, you're going to be extremely efficient with everything you do, right? If you know that you're going to die in a week, you're probably going to do everything to the best of your ability. Make all the phone calls you can make to the people you love. Yeah, you probably wouldn't be hyper-focused on work.
Right.
But you would treat everything you do a lot more differently.
No, 100%.
You would not be nonchalant with your activities. You would do everything with intention, because you know there's an expiration date. And I'll share something. New Year's weekend, I went to San Diego with some friends, and we're in an Uber ride to our first destination. And we get off on the exit. We're driving on the off-ramp, and we see a car flipped over on the side of the road after it had about rolled probably like 20 yards. Probably just happened 2 minutes prior to us seeing it. We asked the Uber driver to pull over so we can go help anyone in need. Me, my friend Nick, and Alex Hernandez, who also are professionals in our office, run to the car, and the car is just completely smashed, flipped upside down. Long story short, since we're the first ones there, Nick opens the passenger door, and I saw 3 bodies folded like a piece of origami. The driver was probably about 10 feet ahead of the car, thankfully critically injured, but alive. And, not to like take anything away from that's happening on the other side of the world, because people are getting bombed, cities are getting wiped, but experiencing death in front of you has completely changed my perspective on everything I do with the daily basis, because I want to make sure that I'm always leading with intention. There has to be like reasons behind you're doing what you're doing, because of like, I could have been one of those people in that car. And if I look back on my last week of my life, if you did everything with no intention, no care, no urgency, no attitude, what did you really live for? You were kind of just going through the motions.
You were just, flowing. Yeah, that's it.
So
you're a paper bag, dude, that's just flowing. That paper bag that's always on the freeway somewhere, has no real intention. It's just floating around. Same shit.
Yeah. And like I said, I know, there's probably been many opportunities in life for me to also have this perspective, because I personally have not lost anyone close to me, but I've had people that are really close to me lose people, and I've seen them go through what they go through. Mm-hmm. But until I saw death for myself, you don't realize how quick
life's gone, bro.
Life is gone. And that's why I say steadfast and standard, because I want to hold myself to a certain standard this year with everything I do. What time I get to the office, what time I'm at the gym, the food that I'm eating, the people that I'm talking to. Everything needs to have a hyper focus of intention behind it, in my opinion. Yeah. But
solid.
Life's definitely not promised.
No, man, it's not. After hearing it from you 3 times now, and hearing it yesterday. Yeah, I went to go see my dad yesterday. You know,
yeah, you lost your dad during COVID.
Yeah, you were there at the funeral.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so I went to go see him because it's like, shit. You hear about it, you see it, or I didn't see it, you did, but I felt it, right?
Yeah.
So then, and it's the new year. I want to go say hi to him and, ask him for some help this year, and hopefully, he guides us or guides me and the family, and told him about the new baby coming,
That's
and
awesome.
it's cool, and he's probably tripping right now, saying, "Well, maybe you might get a boy this time." Well, you never know, because it was always his thing that he wanted to, he wanted me to have a little boy, just because I was his first son, so that's what he wanted for me too, which is awesome. So I let him know. I told him that we don't know yet, and he probably thinks I'm crazy for not knowing, and but yeah, so I can't wait to let him know about that later. But the whole point, obviously, I wanted to talk to him just to
because I mean,
express myself a little bit there.
You didn't. I mean, everyone. I think no one really knows that they're gonna lose someone.
No, you don't.
They don't even know. And
no, they do know. Yes, you know what?
You're right.
Not those what you saw, but when you're faced with, you're older.
Like when your body's just failing.
When you feel different, you know that, hey, there's something that's coming.
Mm-hmm.
And my dad knew. Like, he knew. He had all the talks with us, like literally 2 weeks before, 3 weeks before.
But they won't tell you.
And, he just, I don't want to talk about it.
They won't tell you. But going back to the point that I was making is like one practice that I want to constantly apply is, increasing my own standard, because I think that allows you to be more hyper focused on the activity you're doing, and just love more. I know that sounds like a little cringy, but
no, man.
Yeah, my grandparents are getting old, my mom's getting old, and I'm just thinking about it like, dang. One of my biggest fears is honestly, passing away before my mom. Cuz like who's going to take care of her if I'm gone? So, regardless of how shitty that experience was for that family, and my prayers are with them, I'm extremely grateful that I was put in a position to see that, cuz I don't think I'd have this value towards my life that I was able to kind of concur.
And what's crazy is that all of us it's sad.
Oh, yeah.
We all need to go through something like that sometimes to truly value ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
And what we, want to impact with our family and with others. Because if you've never been there or not even seen it,
mm-hmm.
you had an awareness already before, bro. But now, seeing it, you have a super clear awareness of, I'm not going to say why you're put on this earth, but you have an opportunity, to impact.
Everyone has a reason. You just have to go out, find them, create them.
Yeah, dude, it's nuts.
That was a good topic.
Yeah, 100%, man. It just ties into everything. The standard of it, you're steadfast, me all gas, obviously. And the reason being is like the all gas aspect of it, we were at K1 Racing. It's like, how are you going to win? You're not going to win by putting the brakes on, slowing down on the turns and those hairpins, but you
got to fly through the curves.
Yeah.
And this doesn't have to be like specific to anything, but what is something that you think about like happening next year?
This year, you mean?
Yeah, this year. Oh, yeah, this year. 2024. Got to get used to saying that. Yeah, well, like it could be a prediction, it could be like a hypothesis, something that you predict happening in 2024.
The real estate market's going to change. To, I say quarter 2.
Let's talk about that real quick. In 2021, our median home price peaked at $423 at like a 2% interest rate, right?
No, it wasn't.
3% maybe.
It was 4.
Let's go 3 to 4.
Right, because
3
it
to
really
4%.
didn't hit 3%, bro, until 2022.
No, I think there were some 2% loans in 2021 because I helped some clients do those.
Okay.
But let's just call it 3.5%, 4%. Right. 423,000 was the highest our median home price was ever been.
Yeah.
And that was then.
Mm-hmm.
2-3 years later, when our rates are doubled,
mm-hmm.
guess what our median home price is today? Only $2,000 less. 420, 421. Mm-hmm. And it's crazy because, like people are scared of these interest rates and they don't want to buy. They're on the fence. But what do you think's going to happen if you're waiting for interest rates to go down?
The median's going to increase because the value's there. And then you're going to get paying more money.
And then now you're going to have to come out of pocket with closing costs, down payment.
The whole thing.
Seller's not going to help you with any concessions.
Not in a seller's market.
And I think it's cool because now I've been able to see both cycles. I've been able to see the buyer's market, the seller's market, and now it's probably going to shift back into, reverse. It was a seller's market, turned into a buyer's market, and now it's probably going to turn into a seller's market again. But yeah, I think predictions I have for this year when it comes to like real estate alone is hopefully it would be cool to get rates down to like 5% again.
If they hit 5%, bro, or sub 5, there won't be any houses available, and there will be $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 over asking again. You think we had buyers before? Like the amount of buyers that are on the sidelines right now is absolutely nuts. We hit 1,000 houses up in our high desert market, but now we're under
922 as of this morning.
Mm-hmm. So we will be at about 800, and I'm going to say it, 800 in the next month and a half. That means more people buy. That means, and some of those houses will be put on the market the next 45 days, and they'll be in escrow within 2 weeks. 100%.
I can't wait.
It's going to be challenging. It's going to be good for us to buy the properties, to flip, hold them a little bit with appreciation. So then your $40,000 flip that you're thinking about making, you might end up making 60 or 65.
I think it's going to be good all around. If you're a skilled professional in this 100%. Industry, you're representing buyers, you're taking listings, you're assigning deals, if you're essentially, there's a trait that says like a master of one is better than a jack of all trades, but there's actually more to that. It actually goes a jack of all trades is still better than a master of one. And I think that kind of applies to like real estate. If you're able to somewhat get skilled in every single type of transaction, you always have that to offer to your client.
In the pillar of real estate, yes.
Correct. So what I mean by that is, with us not having any inventory, and let's just say we have a lot of pre-qualified buyers that are looking for property and there's no inventory, well, what do you think we're going to go do now? Go create inventory, go take listings. So then we can go help our buyers get into homes. And I think you're only able to do that if you have skills built. 2023, I would say, was a prospecting year, right? Foundational. Interest rates were high. Inventory was low. There was a lot of uncertainty. A lot of people exited the business. If you were able to prospect consistently in 2023, I think 2024 will be a year of fruits of labor for you.
Yeah, because you spent that time learning that skill.
Yeah, and all those leads that you've been talking to, what are they doing? Just stacking up.
With follow-up.
Providing you've built the relationship. So I'm definitely excited for the real estate side of things. Do you have any predictions when it comes to what's going on in our world? I feel like there's not enough attention put towards that.
No, and you know what? Obviously this is the election year.
We had fireworks during New Year's. They had bombs for New Year's on the other side of the world.
But it wasn't just for New Year's.
It's been happening for months and months and months. Past 75 years,
That's why everybody, literally, you live in the greatest country. You're able to hear this freaking podcast. You're able to watch it, hear it, listen to it in your vehicle. We literally live in the greatest country. You don't have to worry about bombs hitting you, et cetera, et cetera. So it's then go and fucking do something. Go become something more and go impact someone's life a little bit more. You have the ability to do so, but we're just so like programmed and jaded to feel like, honestly, there's a lot of, I mean, not even to change it, but stop being so fucking entitled, to be honest. Because there's a lot of entitlement, and it's like that just rubbed me a certain way because if you see any of those videos with the little kids that have no idea and they're not even hit, but they're just hit by the shock of seeing their family get blown up and they don't know how to process it. And you can see these little kids can't process what they just saw. And you see them and they're just shaking. And it's like, that is not a world that, unfortunately, this is a world that is here, right? It's a different country, right? But do you live this every day? No. We're literally chilling, hanging out, drinking some water. You're having your Starbucks. And we literally become so entitled to what we think we want when honestly we're waking up and we can go do good and go be nice to people to change someone else's path
when it comes
by being fucking nice.
Yeah,
like it's just, I don't know. I'm very.
I agree.
When it comes to this,
comes to the things that we want, I think George Janko said this on his podcast, and it stuck with me a lot. When you're praying, there's always two people that are listening on the phone. It's the devil, and it's whoever you believe in, whether God or if you're Muslim,
the higher power that you
higher
have.
Power. Yeah. And that kind of sit with me a little differently because I feel like we go through life asking for so many things, not wondering why we didn't receive them. You should be grateful you didn't receive everything you asked for if you haven't received it yet.
Right. If you got everything you wanted, that you've asked for, how does it change you as a person?
Yeah.
Like, not to get spiritual, but it does not change you because how do you change? How do you change if you want to go attract that other seller, buyer, person, spouse, partner, business partner? You got to change, right? Mm-hmm. But if it was everything handed to you, it's like, really? There was no change for you needed?
It's like that terminology when it comes to like relationships, like people that are single that, thrive, like they want to be in a relationship. They're constantly looking for their person, not realizing you should focus on becoming the person you want to be with. And that's how you essentially can attract that person. But, to go back into the topic of what we're talking, I think this year, and this is probably going to sound like, oh, it's just another year. Why are they having this conversation? Yeah. But going into this new year, we have like the election coming up. There's a lot of uncertainty on the other side of the world. And we've also seen how easily the world can be manipulated because look what they did during COVID, right?
No, COVID, and look at what they're doing to Trump with some of these states.
Yeah, he's, I guess, removed from the voting ballot. All I'm saying is that add a little bit more critical thinking to the decisions that you're making. Mm-hmm. Don't just be so brainwashed why we're being fed on a daily basis because, if all this shit comes down one day and we go to war, the only thing you have to fall back on is your own decisions.
And your own skills that you've created over.
Like imagine this whole country got wiped out and we're rebuilding from the ground up. You can literally decide to be the emperor of the country based off of that's a whole different conversation. But all I'm saying is be intentional. Stay ready. Stay ready. Be intentional with everything you're doing. Business, relationships, life, death. That's
learning
a big
how
one.
to use a firearm. There's a lot of things that you need to do.
Also, for those of you that just love Gavin Newsom, he just granted immigrants all free health care, which everyone should be
paying for that?
Everyone should be taken care of. I have nothing against immigrants. My family they're all immigrants, but they've got their papers and they did it the right way. Sorry. Who's paying all those taxes? We are.
We are.
We are.
I mean, I'm telling you, and this is, to go in this topic of not only did he pass something for immigrants to get free health care, he also passed that we can increase rents It went from 10% to 5%.
Okay, I'm gonna need you to say that one more time. So now before you could increase rents 10% a year.
Now it's 5 plus inflation, supposedly, right? But legally, you can only increase the rent 5%. But also, and I read this, and I just can't. You cannot evict someone if they have family problems.
Wow. Let me, guys.
So welcome to the state of California. If you're listening to it here in Cali, before you're thinking about wanting to be a landlord, like, go through this process. Because trust me, like, California is going to own a lot of these renters or rentals because they're making California's making it so difficult
to own a home here.
To be an investor and have a home that you rent out.
Because it's considered to be the most desired state. It's so funny you mention that because we have
I want to pull this up. Go ahead.
Yeah, we have a seller appointment on literally tomorrow with one of the agents on the team. His name is Jonathan.
Yeah.
He called me and he asked me, hey, man, for our appointment tomorrow, my seller is asking me, she rents out a room to a church friend for $500 a month.
It's a tenant.
She never put an agreement in place. Hear this out. What should she do? And the advice that I had to give Jonathan to give our seller is, hey, listen, you want to sell the property? We need to do our best to stay on the tenant's good side. Because as soon as we piss them off the slightest, they can park their butt in your home and there's nothing we can do about it. And it's probably going to cost you a lot more money. Because, she wanted to go through the process of putting an agreement in place and getting them out in 60 days. I was like, hey, listen, let them stay there. Let them pay $500 a month, and if they're paying, and let's even help them with the relocation fees. Because if they get upset, it'll be really hard to sell your house. And that's all because of California's laws.
Yeah.
What were you pulling up?
I'm pulling this up right now. This is a trip. So, it says this is just one of the things because I have a couple different ones here. This Assembly Bill 12 limits the amount landlords can charge for a security deposit to just 1 month's rent instead of 2. So if you have shitty ass credit, I can't charge you 2 months. I can't charge you an increased deposit.
Yeah, because you would do first month, last month, and then security deposit.
Yeah, the first month, last month is your security, right? Okay. And then your first month, or however you want to structure it. But so they limit it to you for 1 month deposit now. Okay. Now the second thing, this is interesting. It says starting April 1st, Senate Bill 567 will impact landlords who make tenants move out so they can move into the home. So you have a house that you own. This is going to get impacted. You cannot evict that tenant to go move back into your house. It will require the property owners of their family members to move into the property within 90 days and live there for at least 12 months. So
in order to evict your own tenants,
dude,
you need to say that you're going to move in there within 90 days and be there for a year?
Yes. And if you cannot obviously show it, then that's going to be another problem. So, and this is the other thing that I just pulled up as well. And you guys need to go through this because this is absolutely insane. The tenant law now, if you have family problems, you cannot evict a tenant if they have family problems. You got to give them 90 days, not even 60 days anymore. It doesn't even matter if they're 1-year contracts. If they've been there for 3 months, you can't evict them in 30 days. And I hate putting this information out there, but anyone that's listening, some of you might be tenants, so cool, I just gave you some free information. But most of the people that are listening are probably landlords or wanting to be landlords, so really discuss things before you go and buy a property to say that you own a rental, okay? And you know what I've been doing? And I'll say it. Like, if you're going to utilize and you're going to be a landlord, the best format, the best scenario for you is to rent to Section 8. Because guess what? The government will pay your rent for you. And the other thing, anybody that is using vouchers, anyone, guess what they're going to do? They're going to, literally, that voucher is the holy grail for their life. You know why? Because the minute that voucher gets suspended or revoked based upon the condition that you leave one of the properties, or the shitty person that you are, and you fuck up a house, your voucher's gone.
This is for those of you that are on Section 8.
Yes. The minute that voucher's gone, how are they going to live? So this is this new thing in the next 2-3 years. They just, Section 8 just added $115 million worth of funding just for Section 8 vouchers. And I don't have that article, but if you could look for that, Bobby, that'd be great. And check this out. And I saw it. I'm like, dude, this is good. And I lost it, somewhere. But if you're going to go do this process of, keep it last, right? Flip it first, create the profits, then you go buy the property. When you go buy the property, make sure it's in a Section 8, state. Meaning that you're going to be able to rent it out to, in essence, someone that has a voucher and the government's going to pay. Not all of it. It's about, 20% that they have to come up with, but $300, $400, $500. I have some tenants now. Full transparency, any property that I end up, that ends up leaving will be a Section 8 tenant. There's a, you know why? There is a waiting list of people.
Your ROI seems higher too.
100%. And why are we buying properties for? To house people, right? To help them create their home ownership. Not even home ownership. Just be able to have a house that they can call their own. And to increase your profits or increase your cash flow, right? Because why else are you doing it? Why else? Depreciation, appreciation, sure, all that stuff. I can get into that, leveraging the asset, et cetera, et cetera. But now with these laws, cool, that's fine. But a lot of these tenants are going to understand this. And some of these tenants are going to be in properties for 6 months, 8 months, and it's not even COVID. In COVID, you were there for a year without making a payment. Yeah, I had some people that way.
That sucked.
Yeah, so with those, with all these, what do you call it, new laws, buckle up, guys, for sure.
Especially if you're in the industry to be an investor. Or hold doors, whatever you want to call it.
It's just, it is not freaking cool, dude.
Last thing I think we could talk about.
Tell us.
About a month ago, I bet Omar $5,000 that by March 17th, he would have a six-pack. How's that going?
It's actually going. It's going. Is it not? Guys, I'm telling you, creating a six-pack means you have to be in a complete calorie deficit at all times. It's challenging. I'm hungry all the fucking time. And I have a good 4-pack. I can see the sides. But, I got 2 more months, so I really don't know. Not unless I go on a fucking crazy-ass water diet for the next 4 weeks.
That's been very popular now because Gary Brecka talked about it, that 86-hour water fast.
Bro.
You should try it.
You know what? I would probably try it, leading up to the...
There's an app on your phone that you can download to track it.
Okay.
86 hours.
86 hours. It's a long time just on a straight water diet. And you'll probably shed. I want to get to the point to where it's like, all right, I need to build more muscle in the area. So then when I do shed, they can pop out. Because a 6-pack's difficult. If you would have said a 4-pack, I should have said a 4-pack. Perfect. Because a 4-pack, I think you could. Because a 6-pack's very difficult when you're not a super lean guy anyways.
You can get a 6-pack, being under even 17% body fat, you can visibly see a 6-pack if you've built the muscle. And 17% is pretty high.
Okay, bro.
All I'm saying is it's achievable. 10? It's achievable.
What are you, 10%? 8?
No, I'm less than 15. A true body fat, I'm less than 15, yeah.
that means I got to get to like your size. I'm not that small.
No, you don't have to technically get to my size.
I just have to build more muscle in the area.
Build more muscle and shed the fat.
Yeah, I mean,
but I think that's cool to be able to do things like that, because would you really be probably pushing yourself as hard as you are right now if it wasn't for that?
No.
You know?
Honestly, no, I would
and
not.
I recorded him and I posted him on Instagram, so if he doesn't do it, everyone's going to know.
Yeah,
and I'm going to remind everyone too.
I'll take the picture. I will pick the picture and say, "Hey, do I have a six-pack, yes or no?" And then if people say yes, that's it. If they say, "Nah, bro, you're so fat." All right. Well, then that sucks.
Do you take a multivitamin every day?
I don't.
Why not?
I just don't.
Now, do you get all your nutrients and antioxidants and minerals through the diet that you already have?
Chicken, vegetables, avocado, shakes, whey protein, egg whites.
Maybe.
More or less, but yeah, you're right. I probably should, and maybe I should make it a point to do that from now on. But I should start because now
I read something where it was like,
that's crazy.
The amount, like how consistent you are with your vitamins is a direct correlation of how long you'll be sick for. People that are only sick for like a day or 2 days, it's because their body is embedded with a lot of vitamins and nutrients already.
Call. You know what? You're
but
right.
when you stay sick for like 5 days, reflect on your diet for the past 2 months.
And that'll give you your answer.
You'll get your answer. Yeah. So what I've been doing now is taking a multivitamin and fish oil every single morning after my breakfast with like a super food shake, berries, greens, spinach, all that stuff. And like my mood has improved a lot. I've noticed. Yeah.
That's cool. Okay.
Yeah.
Then it's not as heavy. Yeah, no, that's good noted. I'm gonna text my assistant right now.
Yeah, text your assistant. Please get me multivitamins.
Yeah, this is good. No, I like it. Yeah,
guys, it's 2024. If you don't have the life you want, please get off your ass and stop going through the motions. Because you can literally die tomorrow. Or your mom, or the person you love, or your kids.
Someone can.
Someone can, so stop being a dickhead.
Oof.
That's all.
Oof. Brutal. Guys, I appreciate you guys all joining, listening. 2024 is going to be a phenomenal year where we will be adding processes, more systems, setting the standards, clearing the fat so we're able to go faster. And holding ourselves more accountable. So hope you enjoyed today. Please do your best to click the link, subscribe, share it to your people, share it to people that need to listen to this also. And remember, everyone here is blessed to even be listening to it. So go act like it and stop being so entitled because nothing's promised to us. Go earn it.
Nothing's promised besides death.
And taxes.
Yep. Take care. Comb your hair.
Peace.